What's up, how's it going, guys? We're back for another video here, and today we will be learning about position absolute, right? So this lesson adds on to display flex and is what we'll use to continue to style our website. And now that I have the introduction out of the way, let's get into it. So position absolute is what you would use when you want to pretty much position an element specifically at one place. So in this example that I pulled up here, we have a div, and inside this div is some text and an image of a Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And here is what my code looks like. This is my styles.css code. As you can see here, is just some basic styling so it looks pretty. And then we have our base HTML code. And as I explained earlier, we have our divs with some text and an image of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So that's super cool and all, but what if I wanted the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, instead of being directly under the text like this, what if I wanted to be right here instead? Well, if you tried to use display flex, for example, there is literally no way that you can make it so that it touches the border and moves like this. And similarly, if you try to move the image outside, you'll notice that while it may be close to the corner, it'll never be exactly at this corner. So let's move it here instead, but you'll notice that it'll never be right here. And if I want it to be right here, I have to find another way to do that. And the method that we will use is position absolute. So yeah, let's do it. In our styles.css here, I'll go ahead and use position absolute. And you'll notice that when I do position absolute, the element here basically becomes non-existent to this div. And basically what I mean by that is now it is no longer relative to this div. A relative element, like a div, for example, anything can be a relative element, but a relative element is something that moves according to something else. So this Cinnamon Toast Crunch was, before I used position absolute, it was relative to this div. So it moved relative to how the div changes. If I would make the div bigger, for example, then the image would move based on how the div looked. But if I were to use position absolute, that doesn't matter anymore. Whether I make the div that holds the image in the HTML big or small, it would always stay in this position here. So basically that's what position absolute is. And let's try to move our Cinnamon Toast Crunch to the left so that it can go to this corner. But as you notice here, it's in a pretty weird place right now. And when you position absolute an element, that element becomes relative to its parent. By default, the parent element is root for the entire web page in general. So what I would want to do to solve this problem of it moving all the way to the left side of the entire website is to make the outer div, its HTML parent, position relative. And now as you can see, when I do left 0, it will move directly to the absolute left 0 of its parent div, or the outer div as I defined it. And then there we go. So let's go left -15 pixels, and then let's go to the bottom -15 pixels. And as you can see, now our Cinnamon Toast image is in this corner. And basically we can use left, right, bottom, and top to style the absolute position of our image. That is the premise of this video. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know, and I'll catch you in the next one.